Howdy folks, welcome to another episode of Making Dough Show, where we are obsessed with helping you make some dough in the restaurant business. My name is Hingam and my husband and I own a couple restaurants here in the San Antonio area. And today I'm going to be talking about 7 ways to beat the competition in this business. You have competition. This is probably one of the most competitive industries you and I have signed up for and have chosen to be here. And this is something that you need to consider sooner or later. It doesn't matter. You may have the best pizza place. You have the best steak place. It doesn't matter what you have. Competition is coming to town. There's going to be always somebody who may do it better than you. So you need to be on top of it before they come into town. And today I'm going to share with you 7 tips and a bonus tip at the end that we ourselves didn't consider. It has nothing to do with competition in a way that you think. So stay tuned to that last bonus tip. So let's talk about that real quick. Again, we're talking about beating your restaurant competition today. 7 tips. So first off, let's talk about it. Competition makes us faster and collaboration makes us better. So competition isn't bad. In fact, it's what's gonna make you and I faster. And so if you've been getting a little bit comfortable around here, know that it is incredibly important for you and I to be aggressive and proactive when it comes to the business that we signed up for in the restaurant business. Here's the thing. The nanosecond you get comfortable that things are going well is the second that the enemy is working against you. My husband and I, we always remember this quote by Mark Cuban where he says, work like someone is working 24/7 to take it all away from you. And that is a fact, and you need to know that. There are other businesses, other restaurants that are working incredibly hard. They come to your establishment to figure out why are you successful, what's on your menu. They observe your pricing because they want to beat you sooner or later, and especially if you're not aggressive about growing your sales in an obsessive way, you may get buried. Another tip that I have for you is to check your foundation when it comes to this particular topic. So what do I mean by foundation is that, for example, if you're like, okay, how am I going to beat my competition? That's what we're talking about. The first thing you need to do is to do a SWOT analysis of your restaurant. You need to know better than anyone else on planet Earth what are the strengths of your restaurant, what are the weaknesses of your restaurants, what are the threats that are coming your way in your restaurant, as well as the opportunities. You need to be masterful at this. You need to conduct a SWOT analysis, a thorough one, like once a year. And I do have a show for that where I share with you, what are some of the things we are doing. We do a SWOT analysis when it comes to our team, our management team, our training, our marketing. Again, we want to look into if somebody was to come beat us and win this battle against us, what is the approach they would take. And when we have gone to a new market, we've done SWOT analysis of those businesses as well, those restaurants as well, where we're looking at, okay, what are this restaurant's strengths? What are their weaknesses? What are the opportunities here based on the offerings that we see in the community before we enter that community? In fact, another thing you can do is to do a locate. I wanted to also, let's talk about foundation a little bit more. The other one with the foundation is there are little ways that people can beat you, one of them being your ticket time, the other one being your consistency that you offer with your speed of service. There is a multi-billion-dollar industry on the premise of their ticket time, not because of their quality of food is so good, right? McDonald's is one of the most successful restaurants in the world because they have mastered this aspect of the speed of service. So that is a foundational part of your business, of your restaurant, that you need to be very mindful of. I do have an episode on that where I talk about 3 things to fix before you market your restaurant. I go over these 3 things in a lot more detail. One, again, is the speed of your service is a foundation. The other one is consistency with everything that you do in your restaurant. Again, one of the things that happens with a restaurant like McDonald's or Chick-fil-A and or of the likes is that people know exactly what to expect, and they're going to get that which they expect, whether it's 9 a.m., whether it's 2 p.m., or whether it's 10 p.m., right? And that's incredibly important. So The other thing is your service. What are some of the ways you can up-level your service? These are foundational things of your restaurant that you need to know already. Again, it goes back to your SWOT analysis. If you want to check out that show that I did, please check in the description below. Now, another tip that I have for you when it comes to beating your competition is to mobilize your team. So here's what's happening, friend. It's going to take a village to succeed in this business, a large village actually. So you need all the allies you can get, if that makes sense. So tap into your people. They go to establishments, other restaurants in your community. They get their coffee here. They go whatever for sandwiches. They go after hours for ice cream to different places. And it is important for you to tap into their view and their perspective. It is very normal for you and me that if we're stuck in our operations and this is what we have in front of our eyes all the time, we're not maybe able to see the opportunities. So it's important for you to ask your team, hey, what do you wish was around in the community? What do you see missing? What are some of the ways we could do things better? What do you hear from our customers? Because a lot of times customers express their wishes to our people. Our people don't communicate it necessarily to us if we're not proactively seeking that information, if you know what I mean. And see what are some of the things that they want to lead. For example, they may be like, oh, I wish we had a better, like a kids experience or something like that. So you can ask, okay, fantastic, tell me more. We're like, well, if we had a kids area, if we had this and this and that, maybe whatever thing it is, and ask if they would want to lead that project. So you want to recruit your team and mobilize your team, because that is going to be what it takes for you and I to beat the competition in this industry of ours. The next thing is to go wide, is what I want to talk about. Another tip for beating your competition in this business is to go wide. Here's what happens. Obscurity kills business. People don't know about your restaurant. They don't know how great you are. And a lot of times as in the restaurant business, we think, oh wow, if I offered this coupon, if I did this, if I bent backwards, friend, they don't know you even exist. So it doesn't really matter what you do. So going wide is that having initiatives in place you must have for everybody in town to know you exist. We own pizzerias, for example. Now, somebody may be a diehard Pizza Hut fan. I want them to know we exist. Now, and it's going to take a lot of work on our part to convert a Pizza Hut lover, hypothetically, or Domino's lover, you know what I mean, to our ways of pizza biz. But we need to have initiatives in place to cast a wide net for everybody in town to know we exist. So here's what happens. Maybe a Hollywood actor, I don't know, like Tom Cruise, right? Not everybody likes Tom Cruise, but everybody knows Tom Cruise. And Tom Cruise gets a lot of money per movie, right? Not because they love you or come to your business, but you want to make sure you cast a wide net and have strategies in place for that. When you do, for example, a social media giveaway, and you may boost that post or whatever, you are engaging the community in a zip code. They may not already be your customer, but it's a micro commitment to leave a comment or tag a friend in hopes of getting something for free. That's a micro commitment. So that's an example of casting a wide net. I don't know if it makes sense. Again, as I mentioned, your goal has got to be known by every single person in 5-mile radius of your restaurant. That is like one of our main mission when we go wide, right? So, and you want to make it easy for them to try your restaurant. For example, for us, we give a lot of free pizzas. Again, we're in the pizza business. To a lot of people, we make it easy for them to try our food. We get our food in their mouths without them making a commitment just yet, in hopes that, again, being known, we want to build goodwill, and many of them do convert out ways. Some of them don't, right? It's again, not just yet until we get there. Some of the guerrilla marketing strategies, I actually have an episode on that as well. For example, one of the things we do is, we have a pizza costume that goes out by the side of the road and dancing with a sign. What that does, again, is casting a wide net. That's another strategy for casting a wide net. I don't know if that, like a fishing thing, you know what I mean? So not everybody's going to come maybe to our restaurant seeing that pizza costume, but they're going to appreciate the hustle. Like, who are those people over there? We're going to be known in our town. So that is about going wide, friend. And if you want to beat the competition, you cannot handle being obscure, and you want to make sure every single person in a 5-mile radius of your restaurant knows that you exist. Obviously, once you go wide, the next step is for you to go deep. And you need to have deep ties with people in your community, and that is very, very important. So you want to make sure you have deep ties with schools, with police, with the fire department, with the Chamber of Commerce, with churches. If there are any local events, you need to be present. Like, I don't know, parades. There are a lot of local events like, Craft Fest. I don't know. You need to partner with other local businesses, see if you can trade gift cards. That is going deep. When you're going one-on-one, deeper relationship with institutions or businesses locally. Again, hosting fundraisers for schools. You have a point of contact in different schools, hypothetically, right? Where you're hosting fundraisers with the fire department, with the police department. You all want to be friends with those people, you know that. Overall, with churches. So again, it depends on who you are and what is going to be your approach to that. So you need to realize that when someone is coming to town, right, the competition that's coming to town won't have those deep ties with church number one, church number two, that have maybe, or schools or whatever. They need to start those relationships from scratch. So you have the advantage while you can to take advantage of that, and aggressively, going back to the first point that I was trying to share with you, is to be incredibly aggressive about this, is that you are creating deep ties with people in the community, particularly influential people in the community. You're going over, shaking hands, and taking some free food, meeting some people, and continue to have those relationships. So when the competition comes, because people are loyal to people, they're not loyal to businesses. So know that even if this other restaurant, maybe they have a better, more fancier brand than you, whatever, people are maybe going to continue to be loyal to you because they are loyal to you, as the business owner or the manager. So be very mindful of that. Okay, last but no, actually, tip number 6 that I wanted to give you is to freshen up your brand. Here's what's going to happen, people. When these people are going to open, whoever is your competition that comes into town, they're going to throw this party. It's going to be their grand opening party. They're going to have a thing of fresh paint on the walls. They're going to have nice decor. Some of them, we've had people come into our town that they've had a lot more budget money to have a very much fancier decor than we do, right? You need to every quarter freshen up your brand a little bit. Spend a little bit of money, make things a little bit nicer. Maybe some chairs need to repair, some tables need to repair. Maybe you need to put a coat of fresh paint, right? Know that, again, your competition is going to come in. There's going to be this novelty, this new thing that they're doing. They're going to be hosting this grand opening event. Why are you not hosting any events yourself already in the community? Maybe once a quarter, or you're hosting maybe a family event, maybe beer tasting, maybe wine tasting, kids event, live music. Maybe that's what they're going to do. They're going to look into your business. You're like, you're kind of stale. You've been there for years and you've not innovated and you've been busy, but someone else is going to come into town and bring a fresh offerings per se to your community, and they're going to win the community instead of you. So if you can, why don't you freshen up your brand now, because right before they come into town. And last tip I have for you before my bonus tip is to build that list. It is incredibly critical that you have a way of communicating with your customers directly, that you're not relying on even social media platforms for this. You must have your customers' email addresses. You must have their phone numbers. And you need to be able to either, and their addresses if you do offer delivery, right? You need to have email marketing in place. You need to have text message marketing in place. And if you do mailer, but that's, a little bit depending on the situation here, and it's kind of more expensive, is that you need to have a way of directly communicating with your customers, because otherwise the competition is coming to town. And how are you going to let everybody know that your existing customers, that maybe you're going to do a particular deal, you want to do a special offer, at the same time as that, those other people are going to give out a lot of free food in their first quarter. That's going to be their 90-day marketing plan, right? They're going to saturate your 5-mile radius with their free food and events and grand opening and making it fun. So what are you going to do? You may want to host an event of your own. You may want to offer a deal that is a no-brainer. You need to have a way of communicating with your customers directly. Yes, social media is important. Of course, you need thousands of customers, friend. We already know that. So as the competition is not maybe as aggressive, and maybe you are winning already. Maybe you're not even winning. Maybe the competition is beating you. Be sure to capture your customers' contact information so you have a way of directly contacting with them, not being at the mercy of Mr. Zuckerberg. But again, I am pro that as well. Bonus tip is this. When we had competition come into town, we have some movie theaters coming in, and they also have pizza in their establishment, and pretty cheap, I might say. Again, they have a really large budget. The oven is like a 100K oven. And so one of the things that we did not consider, we did all this stuff to make sure that we're not necessarily losing customers, but we didn't realize that, oh, wait, they're going to come and steal some of our staff we did not know about. Their manager is going to come over to your restaurant. They're going to be eating at your restaurant. They're going to observe, oh, wow, that staff is friendly. That one's this, that one's that. They're going to pass out their business card. Hey, whenever you want some extra hours, if you're not fully happy here, we're hiring at blah, blah, blah. And you can get, for example, this was movie theaters, right? They're like, oh, you can get, obviously, tell a teenager they can watch movies for free, and for them and a friend, you get anybody to sign up. But when folks were going to interview, for example, they're like, they would ask this establishment, how much do you pay? Is like, well, how much is so-and-so that where you're working is paying you right now? And they'd be like, X. Well, we'll pay you more than that, right? So these people that are coming new to your market not only are going to try to steal your customers, they are going to also try to steal your staff. So I hope you're ready for that and you have a contingency plan, because it is happening, friend. This is the industry you and I signed up for, and it's incredibly, incredibly competitive. I hope that you found these 7 tips to be helpful. I would love to always hear from you. You can always send us an email to makingdoughshow@gmail.com. Again, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Next is that I have a free resource for you called A Year's Worth of Marketing Ideas to Grow Your Restaurant Sales. That's a free PDF. It's like 20 some odd pages. I go over 52 different ways that you can market your restaurant. Why? Because I think if you were to implement one thing a week, right? If we were to implement one thing a week, hopefully by the end of the 52 weeks, after a year, we have 52 different ways that are working for us to make sure that we're continuing to crush our sales in this business aggressively, as I mentioned. Thanks for tuning into the show. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube or all the podcast platform. Give us a thumbs up. If you are tuning in on the podcast, I'd greatly appreciate it if you would please leave us a review, or you can always share this show with a fellow restaurant owner, maybe on a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group. Again, I'd appreciate it very much. And with that, let's get back to work and make some dough. Thank you. Bye-bye.